44 days, get out your abacus, 2 months away from Election Day, and Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are neck and neck in the national polls. But that hasn't stopped one man from predicting that Trump is heading towards a big win in November. Alan Lichtman, a professor of history at the American University and author of Predicting the Next President. He's correctly predicted the outcomes of the last 8 presidential elections, and he joins us now. Alan, nice to see you this morning. So you don't care about the polls that everyone else gets caught up in. You're looking at history for indicators. What do you see?
Well, my system is 13 true-false questions where an answer of true always favors the re-election of the party in power. It's based on the retrospective study of every election from the election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860 to Ronald Reagan in 1980, and it's based on the theory that elections are primarily referenda on the party holding the White House. So I look at the big picture, the economy, foreign policy, third parties, and the way it works, if the party in power has 6 of these 13 going against it, that's the Democrats now, they're predicted losers, and by my system, the Democrats have 6 negative factors against them.
Wow, here are the negative ones. Incumbent party mandate, nomination contest, so obviously Hillary Clinton had to fight Bernie Sanders, a third-party challenge, Jill Stein maybe taking some of the votes away from her, policy change, foreign military success, that's been a problem for her, and the incumbent charisma also. Now, what about some false keys for Hillary? Let's talk about the incumbent party mandate. Why is that a problem for her?
Well, that's the midterm elections, kind of a referendum on the party holding the White House, and the Democrats got wiped out in 2014. It's not her. Remember, we're talking about a referendum on the performance and strength of the party holding the White House. It doesn't necessarily turn on the individual candidates. And, of course, in Donald Trump, you have such a precedent-breaking candidate.
Right.
You know, he said so many things that would drive other candidates out of the race that maybe he'll break the pattern of history and snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, despite my system.
Key number 3, you say, is incumbency. Of course, the sitting president is not running. Why is that a problem for her?
Well, it's always better to have a sitting president running. A sitting president has a record. He has a gravitas. That's one factor that always counts against the party holding the White House. It's harder to win an open seat than to see an incumbent get reelected.
You say key number 7 I want to jump to. No major policy change in Obama's second term like the Affordable Care Act. Why is that a problem for her?
Well, it's always good if you're the party holding the White House to have something to run on, to have major accomplishments. Right now, because of the gridlock, she's kind of coming up a bit empty on any major domestic policy initiative.
The third party, we haven't talked much about this. You know, we have the Gary Johnson key in all of this. You said key number 4. What about the third party variable for Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, everybody's missed that. It's very important. Third parties are bad news for the party holding the White House. And my threshold there is 5% or more, which looks like Gary Johnson is going to get. But the point is, people would be throwing their vote away by voting for Gary Johnson. That's not the choice. It's Clinton versus Trump. There are no moral victories in politics, so whether you believe in Clinton or Trump, you should make the major party choice. There's no such thing as a moral victory in presidential politics.
Alan Lichtman looking at history, which is probably a good indicator instead of all of these polls, to pick a Trump victory in November. Alan, great to see you this morning. Thanks so much.
Great to be here.